Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid podcast. And tonight we go to Greensburg, Indiana. And again, talking to a fellow Boilermaker fan and Boilermaker friend here. We seem to get a lot of those on this program, and we enjoy that very much. I'm talking tonight to a fourth-generation cattleman, and this young man has became the herd manager at Stewart Select in 2011. He is active in the State Angus Association. He is also the IBCA treasurer, and also he's on a local hospital foundation board. And at the same time, he is the technology and data operator for the farming operation. And so from Greensburg, Indiana, they have a sale on April 6th, and that sale is going to start at 5 o'clock p.m., and we're going to talk about that just a little bit later here with that. But I want to introduce my guest and get some history about this herd and how things got started and get into these sale cattle as well. So my guest on this edition of Before the Bid is Mr. Andrew Stewart. Andrew, how are things in Greensburg today?
Good. It was real bright and sunny over the weekend. We got a lot of things done, and appreciate you having me on the podcast here, Andy.
Well, I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate it. We got one dry evening tonight, and then it sounds like some rain's going to come in. So I appreciate you coming in and being able to talk with us tonight to talk about this sale, the Stewart Select Performance Tested Bull Sale with select females as well in this offering. So, Andrew, tell us a little bit. Introduce your family, and then we'll kind of get into some history of the operation.
Yeah, so obviously I'm here on the farm with my wife Darcy and our three kids, Matthew, Haley, and Ella Kate. And with me as far as in our farming operation, it started kind of with my great-grandpa, and he had two sons, John and Gilman. John was my grandpa, and then from there, Gilman had one son, Tom, and then my dad came back, Jim, and then my dad's sister married Steve Gunn, and Steve is in on the farming operation, so that's kind of the third generation, Tom, Jim, and Steve. And then here in the fourth generation with me is Steve's son, Josh, and Tom's son, Nick. So we're all kind of starting out or continuing on, I guess I should say, the operation and working to make the best quality beef. And we have a seed business as well, and then the farming operation that all has a lot of moving parts and keeps us all pretty busy.
Right, I was at the operation a couple years ago on the National Angus Tour, and we went to the seed business, and what a business that is, and all the things that are entailed with that. How much of that do you get into at all with the seed business?
Well, I just look kind of high-level overview on the seed side of the business, just kind of look at some of the financials involved in some of the kind of capital improvement projects that we look at to see if they're the right fit for our business. I'm involved on the farming side too, in conjunction with the Angus. Those are tied a little bit more closely together than the seed side of the business. But all do the data management and technology GPS part of the farming operation to kind of keep us abreast on top of all the latest and greatest technology that help us to improve our margins and produce the most bushels with the least amount of inputs and make it more sustainable, like everybody kind of talks about.
How do you guys? There's a lot of you right here in this. How do you guys kind of split that up? Split some of those duties up?
Yeah, it just we kind of see what works, I guess, and see who's good at what, and it's just a lot of us trying to just do whatever we can and find the people that like to do certain aspects of it, and just kind of let them take the wheel and run with it.
And always have that comedy in there with Steve around, right?
Yeah. My Uncle Steve. You can't have a conversation with him without laughing. I think at least 6 times. So.
Is that what his number is? He's got to make you laugh 6 times.
I think that's the number. Yep.
Today's his birthday as well, right?
It is. That's the same because he just says that every day is your birthday because you were alive a year ago on this same day.
Right, and we don't want to get into it too much, but we want to wish him good health and wish him all the best in the world, and hope he's listening and smiling along with us on this.
Yep.
So, who else do you have right there that helps you with the cattle operation and the farming operation?
Yeah, so we have a guy that's actually been with us for over 40 years now, John, and he's great. Knows health of the cattle and knows how to work cattle and knows how to breed cattle. He really helped me out when I came back. Not saying I didn't know, what went on the cattle side, but I didn't know all the intricacies, I guess, of day-to-day operations and kind of what we did. And he can go out and fix a fence. He can weld new gates and fix stuff on the tractors and things. So he's real good. And we actually, I guess this was May of 2018. We did take on another kind of full-time help. His name's Trevor, and he's done really well, and he's learning for us, trying to take over John's role a little bit and let John do some other duties that he has more on the farming side of the operation. John does about 90% of our spraying, which our sprayer gets a lot of work covering the acres that we cover. So that kind of is why we hired Trevor, and also to kind of foreshadow a little bit with Tom and Steve, who are kind of getting close to retirement age, and knowing that I'm probably going to be taking over some of their responsibilities as far as management-wise and things. So we needed somebody else to do more of the day-to-day, the feeding and manure hauling and breeding cattle and things of that nature. That not saying I don't want to do it, I don't like to do it. It's just that we can find somebody else, and I can focus my efforts elsewhere as well. So.
Right, everybody's going to play that role. So,
yeah.
Well, how did the cattle get started with you guys and with the family, and where did this all blossom from?
Yeah, so back in 1955, our family purchased the farm that I live at, actually, and it had some kind of rolling hills and woods area with a big creek that ran through it to the east. And at that time, we kind of made the decision that, okay, we got to buy some type of cattle or sheep or something to kind of graze the pastures. And it was decided that Angus cattle were going to be the way to go. And so we went and we purchased the entire herd of Hal Roy's from over around Bedford, and that was 35 cows. And that was basically our start. And we still have some of those same cow families today, with some of the adventurous cows and Ann cows that are kind of staples to our operation.
The interesting story with that first set of cows, isn't there?
Yeah, there was. So when we first got those 35 cows, they were actually all bred to a bull that had the dwarfism gene. So that whole first calf crop, we basically had to just sell as market animals because we didn't want to keep those same genetics that had that dwarfism gene on back. So I guess even back then, 60 plus years ago, we were still dealing with genetic defects like we are a little bit here in the 2010s and 20s.
So nothing wrong with the cows, just the calves that came off of
Right.
them. Right.
Yep.
Well, good deal. What you guys have, and you've grown this thing and become very popular with the bull sales and the bull production and things, and you guys have some bulls that are really out there and really available for some genetics that you guys have for sale, and you've got some in studs and those kind of places, and would you take just a minute, talk about a few of those bulls and tell us some of the highlights on those bulls?
Yeah, so we had a total of 7 bulls that have gone to AI studs, and the first one was back in the mid-90s, called Ambush Advantage. Then we had a son of SAF fame that we named Decatur that went to Select Sires. Ambush Advantage went to Select Sires as well. But Decatur actually was at the Bull Test and was one of the top indexing bulls there at the Bull Test right around 2000, I believe. And so he was pretty popular and went into some heifer breeding projects and things out west in his years. Then we got Insight, which was an In Focus son. He was born in 2007, and so he had some good years as well, putting in some of those heifer projects. And then the bull that's kind of made us more well known for sure came around in 2012, was born in 2012, and we sold him in 2013. His name is SS Niagara Z29, and he's been really good for Select Sires. He's actually been on the leadoff bull in the Select Sires directory for 2 years now, which is kind of unprecedented for any bull to stay there. And actually, they weren't consecutive years. So he was actually in 2018, he was the leadoff bull in the directory, and then now here in 2020, he is again. There's 3 other bulls that we have in Select Sire or in AI studs. One is Warrior, who was sold to Accelerated Genetics. He was one of the highlights of the Midland Bull Test sale back in 2013. We had at our very first sale here, bull sale on the farm, a bull called SS Rocket C142, and he sold to Select Sires there in our first sale. And then we also sold Brickyard, who was a Niagara son, to Gen X Cooperative there a couple of years ago. He's just a more Cavanese son of Niagara, has big ribeye, good growth, but that Cavanese as well. So Niagara has really taken off, like I was kind of mentioning, but he was actually the number 14 bull in registrations for fiscal year 2019 for the American Angus Association with 1,572 progeny. So, if you've heard of a bull called Enhance or Discovery, those are the 2 bulls that were right on either side of them for number of progeny registered with the American Angus Association. So Niagara's done a lot of good things. The females are really good cattle. He's won the Bedford Bull Test several years. I think he actually won it 4 years in a row. The first 2 years were bulls that I raised, and then the 2 years after that, I didn't send any Niagara sons, and it was just other breeders here in the state that ended up breeding to him, and those bulls ended up winning the bull test for the performance index. And this year I actually ended up sending some Niagara sons out to the Midland Bull Test in Montana, and I had 2 of the bulls gain over 4 pounds a day, and there was only one other bull in all of Group 1 that gained over 4 pounds a day, and that was another bull that I raised, just a different sire. So he's really coming strong and really doing well. And these cattle from weaning to yearling on Niagaras, they just grow for sure.
I've actually got a Niagara son right out here that Dad sent down a week or so ago, and really enjoy him, and really easy to get along with, and he's a really nice one. So yeah. I myself enjoy these Niagaras. So yeah. Niagara's not it's not really one of the first ones that put you guys on the map. Wasn't there a Chicago story, something or other?
Yeah. So, it's not really a bull, but it's my uncle or great uncle, I guess, Gilman was at Purdue, and they actually raised a steer called Loyal Alumnus 4. And that steer actually won Chicago, and they ended up touring him around the country in this little kind of van bus type deal. And my great uncle got to go along with them to kind of show him around and say that, oh, this is how you want to make cattle, with these short, stocky legs and big top and everything else. And so he actually was the one that helped develop the ration and was in charge of feeding him throughout his kind of development stage and fitting him for the show and everything. So that was a neat experience for my great uncle, and that's what kind of gave him the passion a little bit for cattle, and why we have the Angus here on the farm today.
Well, that's really cool. Do you know how long that went on? How long they paraded him around?
I'm not positive. I want to say it was somewhere around like 6 months after the Chicago show that they just kind of took him around all over the country there.
That's a really neat story. Just taking him out there and showing him around and making him the poster child, I guess, for raising steers, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. You talked a little bit about those bulls at Midland. Anything else you want to tell us about those Midland bulls that these guys might want to hear about?
Yeah. So actually, the final report for Midland just came out today. So you go look at that at midlandbulltest.com and see those final progress reports. And I ended up having my lot 213 bull, which is a GAR Surefire son out of a Sigen Mandate cow. He actually has 124 Midland Bull Test index. So that's the highest Midland Bull Test index in the sale. So he will sell first there or out there because they just do it by that index. He had 135 efficiency ratio. He had a 131 gain ratio. He weaned off at 115 ratio here on the farm. He had 114 yearling ratio, how they calculated out there at the Midland Bulls Test. So he basically did everything you could want in a bull. And those pictures of him are on my Facebook page if you want to go check those out. He's just a really good bull, and that cow has just performed time and time again for us. She had a son a couple of years ago that was a comrade son, and I sent him out there to the Midland Bull Test, and he was one of the top selling bulls out there that year. And I'm trying to look up ratios that she has on her progeny. So she has weaned off 6 calves with an average of 109 weaning ratio.
Wow.
5 calves with 107 yearling ratio, and then 6 calves with the 100 ratio there for ribeye. So she really does it for us. And actually the Grand Dam on that same pedigree, she's weaned off 10 calves at 111 ratio and has 9 calves at yearling with 106. So if you don't think there's cow power behind this bull, Lot 213 out of Midland, you just need to do a double take there, because he's going to really have an impact for whoever ends up getting him.
Growth and pounds are in the blood.
Yes, that's for sure.
And this isn't the first success you've had out of Midland. You've had bulls out there for quite a few years.
Yeah, we started, I think the first group we sent out there sold in 2011, so I guess this would technically be our 10th group of bulls that went out there. And that first year we actually had the top average daily gain bull in Group 1, like we did again this year. Obviously, I mentioned Warrior earlier that sold through the Midland Bull Test. He wasn't top, but he was, him and another one of his half brothers, actually, another War Party son. They really caught some eyes there at the sale, and that was in 2013 when kind of the cattle market was on a decline a little bit, and cow numbers were going way down. So bull prices were down too, and but those two bulls, those two half-brother War Party bulls, really topped. I think one was the 5th, and then the other was, I think, the 9th high seller out of all those bulls out there.
So when they come to look at Stewart Select Bulls at the Midland Bull Test, they know they're the real deal.
Yes, yep, that's for sure. Yeah, and then 2 years ago I had the champion average daily gain sire group as well, with a set of MAR Innovation calves out there.
That's really good. It's a good deal. That's neat. Well, Andrew, where can we find some more information out about Stewart Select and about the herd and different things about the operation?
Yeah, we have a website. Obviously, if you just go to www.stewartselectangus.com, you can also check us out on our Facebook page. We're on there, and I post updates every now and then. I don't try to inundate your news feed, and I usually try to only put a little bit what's pertinent on there. But feel free to check us out on both of those. We have a Twitter account as well, and like I said, I don't post a whole lot of stuff on there, but when we have some sales coming up and different things, we'll post on both Twitter and Facebook there.
Well, did you know on Facebook, I don't know how avid Facebook user you are, I'm not great at Facebook obviously either, but did you know that they could go to your page, and if they want all the updates whenever they come out, they can go, there's a little button up there that they can push, and it says see first. So
yep.
any time that they want to see what Andrew Stewart is up to and what he's putting on there on that page, why they can see that first by doing that, or they could also do the before the bid. They could do see first on that as well. So
right.
Yeah, I just learned that a couple weeks ago. So I thought that was really neat. But yeah, just something that they can do, especially with upcoming sale things going on. They can do that and see all your updates.
Right.
All right. You guys have the sale coming up here, ready to get into some of these sale cattle. You guys have that sale coming up here on April the 6th, and it's going to be at 5:00 p.m. And tell us just a little bit about the whereabouts of that sale and how things are going to go with that, Andrew.
Yep. So the actual sale location is at our warehouse of the seed location which is right off of Highway 3, just north of Greensburg. Go past North Decatur High School, and it's just 2.2 miles down the road. It'll be on the north side, on the left side of the road. The sale cattle obviously are where we house them here at my house, which is just right around the corner from there. And then the sale cattle will be on display anytime from now until sale day, and we'll have them kind of sorted off in their pens there on sale day for guys to view. And guys don't have to bring their trailers and take them that night. You know, if you just want to drive your truck or your car and come get them the day after, a couple days after, we can work with you there. But sometimes it's a longer drive at night for guys going home, and we want guys to be safe, as obviously, and not have to unload bulls in the dark if they do end up getting one. So feel free to just drive your truck and come to the location of the cattle there at my house, which is 1601 North County Road 200 East, there in Greensburg. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll have the meal, or the meal will start. We'll be serving food, obviously the whole time over there during the sale. And then we'll have the sale start right as close to 5 as we can there.
And that is Greensburg, Indiana, for our Ireland and Canada and Jamaica listeners. I saw that on my things the other day. That we're really stretching out there. So that is Greensburg, Indiana, USA, for those listeners. So but with Andrew, you can get right to the place, and of course the address and things in the catalog. Where can we find the catalog for this, Andrew? And maybe they can stop and pull this up, or if they've got theirs in their hand, why they can open it up. But where could they find it online if they don't have one right there in their hand?
Yeah, so if you aren't on our mailing list there and want to look at the catalog, you can go to StewartSelectAngus.com. I have a link to a PDF file for the catalog there. You can also find it on Angus.org. Search the sale books and look at Indiana sale books, and it'll be one of a handful or so of books there. You could also go to dvauction.com. The sale will be broadcasted live on DV Auction, and DV Auction has a link to our catalog actually posted to the website right now that you can go look at and see if that's your mode of action to find your catalogs.
And I've got your catalog brought up, and a great picture there of the family on the opening pages, and some information there. And then we can find some more information. You go to the back page of the catalog. Tell us just a little bit who's managing it, who can we call to get some more information. If we can't get a hold of Andrew Stewart, who else do you guys have that are helping you out with this?
Yeah, so I work with Rance Long to help manage my sale and make sure it all flows smoothly and everything. And then we also will have Tim Dietrich is one of our ringmen there for the sale, and we also have one of the American Angus Association reps, Alex Tolbert. He lives just across the border there in Kentucky, so he'll be coming up for the sale that night. Our auctioneer is Eddie Burks, and feel free to contact Eddie as well if you know him and are interested in any lots through DV Auction. Laramie Smith will be running that, and you can contact her. Her number's listed there on that back page as well.
And you've got some terms and conditions and things that maybe we ought to mention just a little bit. Maybe mention just a little bit about herd health on these animals that are in this sale.
Yep. So obviously all bulls can be accompanied there with proper health papers there. Once I figure out kind of where they're going, they've all passed the breeding soundness exam. They're all ready for service. They've been given a booster, a 7-way booster here this spring. So they should be good to go on that. we are an accredited negative tuberculosis herd here in the state of Indiana. We're certified negative brucellosis as well. And we are in the voluntary Yonis program through the state of Indiana. And we have achieved status level 4, which is the highest level that you can achieve for that Yonis certification.
Everything is in a number 1 working order for as far as the health goes for these bulls.
Yep.
And females as well. So,
mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Andrew, you ready to get into telling us about a few of these bulls and a few of these pairs that you have for sale?
Yep.
Well, I'll let you kind of just go at it, and if you would, just tell us kind of what lot number you're talking about. Tell us what page number we might be able to find them on, and I'll just kind of let you go right ahead with it.
Okay. Well, leading off the sale is a group of Way Up sons, and we really like what Way Up has done as far as expressing some power and performance into these bulls that are here. The lot 1 bull is actually a son of a black granite daughter that's out of the A99 cow, and that A99 cow goes back to X144, and X144 is the famed dam of Niagara. But he's just a thick, massive bull. Plenty of growth. He has 146 on his yearling. He weaned off really well with 121 ratio. He's got great carcass traits, scanned 108 ribeye. So really some good performance there. He gained 4.2 pounds per day there on test. Going down to lot 2, another bull that I really like, and if you look at his picture, you can tell that he's one heck of a bull there. Cavigny's son of Way Up out of a Patriot daughter, and these Patriot daughters, I'm just really loving. They're moderate, but they really pack the pounds onto their calves. They've got good fleshing ability to them, and just good, solid, functional cattle in those Patriot daughters. But this Way Up son, he did about everything you could ask of him there out of that first calf heifer. Just looking at his picture, you can tell that he's going to make somebody a great herd sire for sure. So
I should mention before we talked a little bit beforehand, you are selling them in catalog order, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they will be selling lot 1 through 44 on the bulls. Then we'll go straight into the females there. So.
Okay.
But and how I kind of sell them and how I put them through the catalog is I'll just put them all in sire groups together, and that's kind of how I sell them, and not necessarily saying that the Way Ups are the best sire group and my next sire group's mainstays if they're worse or not. I mean, that's just kind of how I laid it out a little bit. Obviously, I got some Niagaras in here, and I kind of told you at the beginning of the podcast how good Niagara has been for us, and they're down a little ways, but there's still some really good Niagara calves back there. Just wanted to put a couple of these others that I think are somewhat up and coming sires up towards the front of the lots and such. So the next sire group that I featured there are some Keneally Mainstay sons, and he's a Keneally Glory out of a Hemisphere cow. And the Mainstays, how I kind of describe them is they're just kind of fault-free cattle that are just consistent. You don't have any that are, super high on growth or, birth weight, one way or the other. They're just kind of middle of the road, consistent, but sometimes, keeping stuff, right in the middle are going to be the cattle that really make you money. Sometimes you're not trying to focus on the extremes one way or the other. So the first one, lot 4, and I didn't get a picture of him in the catalog here, but once you see his video, once it goes up there on DV auction, you'll see that he's just a really good bull. He's actually a bull that I sold half interest in his dam to a breeder down in Tennessee, and that cow, as you can tell by her production ratios, she has 4 calves at 97 for birth, 4 at 110 for weaning weight, 4 at 105 for yearling weight, 4 at 101 for IMF, and 4 at 103 for ribeye. So she's on the right side of averages for all of her progeny. And I think that just speaks wonders for what the cow power is behind this Lot 4 bull. So if you really want one that's going to sire some good functional cattle, one that you can put some females back in your herd, take a look at Lot 4 there. So going on the mainstays there, I got Lot 6 is another bull that you can tell that his cow as well has done pretty well in our herd. I mean, she's weaned off 14 calves at 105 ratio and has 13 calves with a yearling ratio of 107. So, you know, that cow's been around a long time, and I wish I had a few more daughters. I have a couple daughters, but I wish I had even a few more daughters out of that cow. But she's given me more bulls than heifers throughout her lifetime there. So, looking at the bull that's right below him there is Lot 7, and he just kind of does it all. He's a Cavanese son of Mainstay out of a Niagara cow, back to the Elba SSW27 cow that we flushed. Had a really good flush of traction sons out of that W27 cow, and this bull just kind of just does it all. Got a really high dollar C. Yearling weight's up there to 132. He had an IMF ratio of 117. So if you want one that's going to hang some good carcasses for you, look at Lot 7 there.
And he's got the look too, as according to his picture.
Yes, yep, that's for sure. He's got plenty of quarter to him, plenty of rib, really long bodied, and just kind of a good clean front end and everything as well. So the next set of bulls there, just skipping a couple of those mainstays, and kind of focusing on the top 1 or 2 of each sire group. The Bonanzas are next. My Lot 12 there, he's one of the highest dollar in. Actually, I think he is the highest dollar in bull in my offering, and one of the highest, obviously, in the breed as well, ranking in the top 1% there. He's a Cavanese son. He goes back to the Lucy SSV 32 cow, which she actually has a daughter selling later on in the sale, and she had the top selling female in my sale last year. There was a daughter of Niagara that had a surefire heifer calf at her side that sold to Bob Ramsey up in Frankfurt area. So he just kind of does it all, and he's definitely got enough rib to him, don't you think there, Andy?
Mm-hmm. Sure does. Yeah, plenty.
So, yeah. The next bull there I kind of want to mention a little bit is Lot 14. He's out of a Niagara daughter, and if you kind of look through this catalog, these Niagara females are starting to come on, and they're starting to produce some really good bulls. So that just kind of speaks highly of what he's doing and what he's able to transmit to his daughters, and pass on to his progeny throughout. But he's just a really thick rascal, this Lot 14 Bonanza son. If you once you get looking at him in the videos, you'll see how wide based and thick butted he is. So he should really pack the pounds on for whoever gets him to improve their herd there. So there's really a lot of these Bonanza sons. I had a big slug of them, and I didn't use them again here this past spring, so I don't have any calves out of them. But I'm looking at these, how they developed kind of a yearling. I went back to them, and I'm going to breed them pretty heavy into my herd this coming spring as well. So going down a couple pages there to some of my Niagara sons, there's several Niagaras out of a comrade cow, and what I have found out, and if you look back at prior sales, this Niagara mated with a comrade really hits a lick, and you just make good, functional, solid cattle that can go out, give you the pounds, still give you quite a bit of cavities and low birth weight that a lot of guys here in Indiana need. But if you look at lot either 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, those are all 3/4 brothers that you could go and put right back in your herd and put them in a big group of cattle to breed several females to and get a consistent calf crop. And 26 has this picture right there, and you can tell that's kind of the bulls that we're trying to raise. Just good, solid, plenty of rib to them, good quarter, and just ones that are going to be functional for our customers for many years to come. So have a couple other kind of Niagara grandsons, including one son of Brickyard. That's that bull that we sold to Gen X there. He's kind of definitely more of a Cavanese bull with a minus 2.4 birth weight to him. Have a couple sons of Warrior in lot 34. He's actually out of a Rocket cow, and he's also another super spread bull, minus 1.5 on birth, up to 124 at yearling. He weaned off really well at 114 ratio, had 110 yearling ratio, and 109 ribeye ratio. So he can really pack on the pounds for whoever ends up getting him as well. So we also have some actual Rocket sons that won lot 37. If you want to make sure you don't have any Cavanese problems, check out lot 37 there. He's 18, CED minus 4.7 birth weight. I haven't actually done some sorts to see where he would rank in the Angus breed, but that's got to be in the upper echelon of the 1%. So he's definitely possesses enough Cavanese for any breeder that's concerned about their breeding their big Charolais or Simmental cows, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't make it out if it was a 7 or a 3, but yeah, that's some Cavanese right there, and he's got the look. I mean, look at his picture. I mean, this bull, he's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure. So, lot 39, that's right across on the other side of the page. He's another Rocket son. He doesn't have quite the birth weight and Cavanese as lot 37, but he is one wide based thick truck. I mean, with that Baldridge Jennings kind of behind there, and then Niagara back behind there again. He's expressing some of that from the dam side, just some rear quarter and good depth of rib, and just going to pack on the meat. He gained 4.25 pounds per day, so he definitely put on the pounds this winter. So
You talked video. You talked a little video. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jeremy. You talked a little video about when should those videos be out, you believe?
I would say they're going to be out sometime the week of the 16th. So definitely by probably the 18th of March there, you should be able to go on DV auction and find all the videos on these bulls, and then a few of the female lots. We didn't get every single female lot videoed, but I think we got right at half, or maybe a couple more than half of the female lots videoed there.
Good.
So going on, there's just a few more bulls, kind of getting down to the last of them there, but have a couple more calving East sons of Rocket, and then have 3 Surefire sons, and I bred Surefire or used Surefire, I guess, to put in a little bit of marbling, kind of carcass genetics, and that's exactly what these 3 bulls did. I mean, you look at the marbling on all these, are in the top 20% or better for marbling. They have some pretty good dollar Bs there, being in the top 15% and 5%. One's just a little bit lower there at 40%, but good calving with the marbling as well. And I was talking about my lot 213 out there at Midland. It's a Surefire. So he was kind of my best one, I guess, per se, that I sent out there. But these bulls are right there with them, and possess some good traits for have guys to retain ownership in some cattle, and really follow those cattle all the way to the rail and capture those premiums for the investments that they're going to make on these Surefire bulls. So going into the spring pairs a little bit, we have 30 females that we're going to be selling. The first 2 lots, they are just stout, solid cows. Lot 46 actually had my top selling bull from the 2018 sale, and he's pictured right there. That was SS Niagara E34. And the thing about lot 46 is she is actually going to be selling with a full brother to that 2018 top selling bull.
Oh, wow.
And I should have genomics back by sale day, and I will try to hopefully whenever I get those back, I'll have a kind of little supplemental sheet that I'll try to post to my website, and I'll probably try to mention it there on Facebook if you follow us on Facebook, and say, hey, updated genomic scores for calves of the cows selling, and my sale will be posted. And so just kind of be on the lookout for that. But that upside cow, and I ended up flushing her there last year, and had some flush her actually to Niagara, since I knew, hey, this thing works, why screw up a good thing, right, Andy?
Mm-hmm. Right. If it didn't break, don't fix it.
Exactly. So I have some calves. I have to go back and look exactly. I think I have 2 heifers and 1 bull, ET wise, and I actually have, I think, 4 embryos that I just put in here recently. So I'll have some of those, coming in mid-December there as calves. But she's done real well for us. You can see her progeny ratios there in the footnotes, with 4 at 92 for birth weight, and 2 at 104 for yearling weight, 3 at 103 for IMF, 3 at 107 for ribeye. So she really does a lot of things good for us. Her numbers aren't outstanding, but you can see that you can mate her to the right bull, and you're going to get some really good progeny that you can be able to sell in your own bull sale, or put some females back in your herd. So lot 47, another cow that just has done a tremendous job for us. She's a Patriot daughter that I was talking about, some of those Patriot daughters earlier that are just good functional cattle. Not too big in their frame, just real moderate, able to wean off a really good sized calf. And you can see the 2019 top seller that's pictured right beside her, another Niagara son that, obviously showed what she could do, with that calf of hers. So she's going to sell with a traction son that we raised that's actually out of the dam of Rocket. So that Y65 cow is the dam of Rocket. So her EPD profile, lot 47 D39 is a little bit better, I would say, than lot 46. And you can see that the footnotes there say that I'm actually going to retain a flush, since I have never flushed this cow and don't have I have one way up daughter that she had last year that I am going to keep back in the herd. But besides that, I don't have any other progeny, so I am retaining that right to flush her one time at some time during her lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So there's a couple moving on. There's two Rock Creek Rancher daughters, which these Rancher daughters, they've got plenty of cavities, plenty of growth. I'm actually selling them both with Niagara heifer calves at their side. And those two calves actually already have genomically enhanced DPD. So what's listed there in the catalog, since those calves were born just a little bit earlier, those are both December calves. So they're going to have plenty of weight on them probably by the time sale time is. And you won't have to do too much to them before you want to try to breed them probably next spring. Those two Niagara daughters, if you get either lot 48 or 49. But those two are kind of my features, and these are young. They're, they have their first calf at their side, so they're just 2-year-olds. They got plenty of life left in them, and we just decided that we kind of had a few too many cows that we were kind of keeping back, and just decided that, hey, you know what? Let some other people have some of these good young genetics, and that's why we decided to offer these two Rancher daughters with Niagara calves at their side there.
Share the wealth there, right?
Yep.
Good deal.
And if you kind of just look through and study, and I won't go over all these females, just kind of point out a couple more there. Lot 54, she's a innovation daughter that has done pretty well for us so far, and you can see the Grand Dams picture there, the X64 cow from our adventurous family. But she actually has an Entice bull calf at her side, and this mock Entice is gaining more and more momentum. He's a son of Enhance. I'm going to use him again this spring to breed to, but some of these Entice calves, you just look at them and you can tell they just got a little bit more thickness to them, a little bit more bone, and you can tell already that these calves are going to be some of the top of your calf crop later on this summer. So kind of be on the lookout for him, especially if you're wanting to try to develop your own bull and not have me develop it over the winter. Maybe this one would, lot 54, be able to come in there and buy her for a very reasonable price with him at her side, and go on down the road with a pretty good investment of that cow and that bull.
Mm-hmm.
So
good.
Going on down, there's another innovation daughter, lot 62, and she's Cavaney's daughter, out of the Confidence cow, the B93, and that's actually the B93 is a half sister to our donor, the Z32 War Party cow. So there's good genetics from that Lucy cow family, but she will sell with a mock entice heifer at her side. So if you're looking for a kind of a two for almost and want to have two really good females to put back in your herd, this might be the way to go. Purchasing that lot 62 with that innovation daughter and her mock entice heifer calf at her side. So looking on lot 63 through 73, these are all first calf heifers that are going to sell with the calf at side. Some have a bull calf, a couple of them have heifer calves as well. But if you just study these, and if you want any more information about how the dam or the grand dam has performed on any of these cows, lot 63 through 73, these are these first calf heifers. Don't hesitate to give me a call and talk about them, because they're really going to do some good for some guys. I think there's plenty of life left in them, and we just decided that a lot of these were calving. If you look at the birth dates on the calves, we're calving that into January, and some of them there into February, and we're trying to push our calving season up just a little bit more into December and the first part of January. So that's kind of why we're choosing to part ways with some of these good young productive females that are just calving just a little bit late for us.
But at the same time, they're going to fit right in with everybody else.
Yep, that's for sure. So, and I do have there at the very end, there's two, lot 74 and 75. They're two fall bred heifer calves or heifers. They will be calving there to that traction son that we raised there sometime in September. So don't want to miss up that opportunity there if you're a fall calving herd.
Here's one thing looking through those that I just admire about this sale offering: the dams on all of these cattle that are selling. I don't believe there's anybody that's not a Stewart Select, is there?
There's
very few.
There's only one that's not a Stewart Select dam, and that'd be lot 72. That was a KW cow that we purchased a couple years ago. They'd purchased a good female from us, and we decided to take a chance and purchase two of their bred heifers that were due to sexed heifer semen, and ended up purchasing those. But besides those, we hadn't purchased but a handful of females for probably about 30 years. The really last time we made a kind of a big purchase was from the Thomas Angus Ranch back in the early 1990s, I believe, and we purchased 7 bred heifers, and that was kind of the start of our Jet and Lucy cow families, and a couple other cow families. But those were the two that kind of have survived in the test of time and produced some really, really good ones for us. Niagara's from the Jet cow family, and Warrior, the bull that went to Accelerated Genetics, he's from the Lucy cow family. So whenever you see Lucy or Jet in any of these cows, I mean, there's some cow power behind those females for sure.
Well, that's great. Andrew, I appreciate you spending some time with us, going through the catalog. Any other information that we need to know, anything like that we haven't got to yet that you might want to share with anybody?
Just feel free to reach out anytime, and I'm available, whenever it's convenient for those guys to come look through the bulls. And like I said, you can bid online at DV Auction. If you aren't able to make it sale night, feel free to leave your bid with me or one of the other ringmen. You could ask other people who I've left or who have left bids with me. I handle your bid just as it was mine, even though it's my own sale. I'm very confident and or confidential with that bid, and we'll try to get whatever your order is purchased for the most reasonable price you can get. So.
Well, that sounds great. Really good there. And again, the sale is the Stewart Select Angus Performance Tested Bulls with select female sale. And again, that is April 6, 2020. And it is at Greensburg, Indiana, USA. And it starts at 5 o'clock p.m. And Andrew, want to thank you for spending your time here with me on Before the Bid, and I want to wish you good luck on getting everything finished up and getting everything ready. The catalog sure looks great. Just great pictures in there of you guys and the family and the cattle, and just a really nice, easy read, nice catalog that you guys have put together. And so just want to wish you luck there on April 6th at 5 o'clock for this bull sale. So
I appreciate it, Andy, for sure. So,
how many bull sales have you guys had?
This is our 5th bull sale.
Okay, great. And you guys used to just sell them right off the farm.
Correct. Yep. We used to just sell them privately off the farm, and with me getting a little bit more involved with the farming aspect of our operation and the spring planting and things, we kind of made the decision to go with the bull sale to kind of get a majority of them sold there, kind of in one fell swoop, to kind of be cognizant of my time there when it's crucial there in spring planting to be able to have me do the things in the field that I need to do and not slow down that process. If somebody wanted to come look at a bull on May 20th on a 70-degree day,
when it's going to rain the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, again, I just appreciate it very much. And again, the Stewart Select sale there on April 6th, 2020, Greensburg, Indiana, at 5 o'clock. And we want to welcome you all out there and hope you can come. And as he said, you can bid on DB auctions, get a hold of somebody. And again, Andrew, just appreciate your time for this.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And livestock friends, again, Stewart Select Angus Performance Tested bull sale with females. And again, want to thank Andrew Stewart for being my guest here on this edition of Before the Bid. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.